is Sarah, and this is Sarah's Creative Corner, and I am here to update you on all the things that I've been working on over the past week. It is March 1st, and it is pretty chilly here in Maryland, so got to pull out a couple of my sweaters this week, but yeah, that's really it. So just want to kind of get on here and talk about what I've been working on, and I actually do have a finished object and a half finished object, and I've been working on making some pretty good progress, I would say, on some of the things that I have on my needles. So I also have a couple acquisitions, well, I guess one acquisition. So I guess we can start with my finished object, and that is my vanilla sock. So last time I talked to you guys, I was here and I had like 2 inches or so, and I finished the toe. I finished this 2 nights ago, so really cutting it close to filming. And this is just a plain vanilla sock. Nothing crazy. The yarn is the KnittinBro yarn the KnittinBro yarn and Wild Thing on their 80/20 sock base. And I was looking at their website earlier this week, and it doesn't look like they are dyeing anymore, but they do still have some yarn on their website, so maybe they're trying to get rid of the inventory that they have. So I will link their shop down below so you guys can take a look if you guys want anything. So yeah, that is the sock. I just use Crazy Sock Lady's vanilla sock on magic loop pattern, and I used her counts. I did a 64 stitch sock with a 2x2 ribbing and the German twisted cast on instead of the long tail cast on. And then the other modification that I did is I did a Eye of Partridge heel instead of just the slip stitch heel, and I think it looks fine. It'll be interesting to see how this heel wears differently than the normal slip stitch heel, and that'll be, yeah, I look forward to that. And because my husband really likes wearing his socks, so there'll be some wear on them. And that's really it. I did 20 rounds for the cuff, and I did 60 rounds for the leg, and however long for the foot. I don't really measure, or I don't count my rows for my foot or for my feet. I just use my sock ruler. So that is my first finished object, which I am pretty pleased to finally have off my needles. I was looking at my Ravelry the other day too, and saw that these have been on the needle since December. So these have been a long time coming, and glad that they are finally done, and I can take off all the stitch markers and block them or whatever it may be. I guess one thing about the yarn is that I didn't really care for knitting with it, which might be why they didn't fly off the needles. It felt really squeaky on my hands. I don't know why. I've never felt that way with a sock yarn before. So just for you guys' information. All right, so we can kind of get into my whips slash half finished objects. I am coming to you with another sock. I just love this color. It's so fun, and I don't think it's sold anymore. I haven't seen it on the website, but it is the Cheap Seat colorway by Queen City Yarn Co. in Charlotte, North Carolina. I got it at Yarn Centric 2 years ago, so I finally cast on the sock, and I am using Hermione's Everyday Sock pattern by Lueder, I believe. And yeah, I was here last time you saw me and basically knit like an inch or so, and then I finished the vanilla socks, and those were knit on magic loop, and these ones were mostly knit on 9-inch circulars. But then as soon as I transferred these onto magic loop, I just kept on going. And I think it also might have been easier because I was on the foot, so the other half of this is just stockinette, and this is just some, it's like a ribbing pattern, I guess. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, so I can link it down below and you guys can take a look at it yourself. But yeah, I was really surprised to get 2 socks done in one night, and I'm really excited. I tried these on and they fit really well, and I did the, I can't remember if I said I did German twisted cast on with a 2x2 rib, and did 20 rounds for the cuff. I did 60 rounds for the leg, and then just my measurement for the foot, and I tried it on and it fit really well. And I think I've also started to get my ribbing and my cast on down, because I've found in the past that the cast on will be really hard to go over the largest part of my ankle, like the diagonal part, but this one went on really smooth, and I find that it's really elastic. So yeah, I had a really nice time knitting with this, and I also liked how there wasn't any pooling, pretty even speckling. So that is this one. So I'm really glad to have the first one off of the needles, and I've actually cast on the second one. So here it is. I am doing 60 stitches. I'm doing the same exact thing, knit 2, purl 2, cuff, and the German twisted cast on, and I'm about like 14 rows in, so just do a few more and then I'll be able to get into the pattern. And as you can see, I'm doing it on magic loop, and I am doing these on US 1.5 2.5 millimeter needles, and that is what I knit all of my socks on for magic loop. And if I'm doing 9-inch circulars, I use US size 1 2.25 millimeter. So I am looking forward to getting this on the way, and it'll be interesting to see how the speckling is different on this one in comparison to this one. So we'll see. All right, so that is my first work in progress slash half finished object. And let's see, my next one we can talk about is my Sophie shawl, one that you haven't seen in a second. And I have actually finally attached the second ball of yarn. It is knitting up really nicely. I like how it's like dimensional. There's some lighter spots, some darker spots. I think that's really pretty. And last time you guys saw it, I was down here, so I got a good like 3 inches or so on it. I really just wanted to get the next ball added in, and I have. So my goal was achieved, and I am starting to reach the halfway point. I think I'm like 1 stitch away, and I would like it wider. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off this ball of yarn or like get close to it, and then start to do the decreases there. So we'll see how wide this gets. It's also, I know it's garter stitch, so it'll stretch, but it doesn't feel like it's that long either. So yeah, we'll see. I think I'll like it longer and wider too. And I guess that's really it. I am knitting it on Woolberry Fiber Co's Berry Worsted base in the Cloud Forest colorway, which was one of her, I think, like one of the fall collections. And yeah, that's this guy. Glad to kind of be re-engaging with it and actually getting some work done on it. So that is that quick blurb about that. Just gonna transfer my whips from one side to the other. All right, the next one I have is the reoccurring theme is my half and half triangles wrap. I have been making steady progress on this. Every week I want to at least like knit an inch or two on it, and I have been able to do that this week. So last time you saw me, it was on here. So I would say I've gotten like 2 inches or so on there. And this is the half and half triangles wrap, if you guys don't know, by Purl Soho. And it is just a garter shawl that has 2 different colors, and my colors are pale mushroom and then rhubarb pink. And I've done 2 different modifications on it. I did a German short row instead of a wrap and turn, and then I did just a slip stitched edge, I-core edge kind of. And yeah, that is really it. I starting to make some headway on it. I have about that much left, and I think if you guys remember, I said that I frogged basically all of the pale mushroom, so I'm starting to get down to where I was before I frogged. This was like just totally undone. And there was so much more. So glad to see that I am making progress and slowly returning to where I was before. I am intrigued to see how much yarn I have, because I have 3 skeins of the pale mushroom because that's what it calls for in the pattern. But I am already like halfway, I would say like halfway done with the pale mushroom, and I still have maybe about half or a third of this left. So this will definitely get me pretty far. So I think I'll only need 2, maybe 2 skeins, like 1 and then like a touch of the second one. So I think it's interesting that the pink side I used 2 full skeins and then a touch of the third. So not sure what that looks like. And also the rows are getting longer, so maybe that's just also throwing off my perception of things. But yeah, that is this. Really glad to be working on it. And I was actually cold the other day and I had this, so I just finished the row and kind of stretched it out a little bit on my needles without losing the stitches, and it was quite a lovely shawl to use. So that is that guy. And then my last whip, well, I guess the one that I want to share with you guys is my test knit. I have made some progress. I would not say it's decent progress. I should be closer to being done, but I am not. My Chloe sweater. So that is this. So I was just finishing off the front half, the front hem, and I had a couple rows left, and then I joined in the round and just working stockinette. I really like how it's working up, and we'll see if it's too scratchy. It doesn't, well, maybe. But I've heard that Nutiden will soften over time, so hopefully that is also the case for this one. And then it's in the Tålmodig colorway from last year, and yeah, nothing crazy to say about this one. I do really like how it looks right now. And then that stitch marker, or the progress keeper, is actually by Hello Lavender. And then I have a beginning of round marker by Sassafras Knits. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it looks, and just like I feel like the ribbing looks pretty clean too, which I do worry about sometimes. But I do combination knitting for my ribbing, and just kind of in general I purl, I can't remember the term for it right now, but it's where you wrap the yarn the other way and your pearls are mounted backwards instead of normally, and I find that that actually helps with how my ribbing looks a lot. So that is this guy, and yeah, it is due in 13 days. It's due on the 13th, so I really need to get working on it. I am nowhere near splitting for sleeves, but it's just been a wonky week, I would say. But I think with having the socks off the needles and having like a project that I finished, that'll help with like some motivation. So looking forward to at least making some more progress on this, and hopefully I can get to splitting for sleeves and starting to do the like neckline and all that sort of stuff soon. So that's this. Nothing crazy. And I have made some progress on my lighthouse keeper pullover, but there is frogged yarn and I don't want it to become a big mess, so I'm just gonna leave it where it is. And I had to frog part of it because the stitch counts were off, and as I said before, I don't like to fudge things. So I just frogged to the first like stripe repeat and am back on track. And I actually did like a Excel sheet to kind of help me keep track of my stitch count, and I would just check off each like each raglan increase, and then I realized that I did when I redid it, I did the stripe wrong, and it was a whole deal. So I ripped back again, and I think we're on the right track now. So hopefully next week I will have some progress maybe that I can show you on that, and it will be in a nice spot for me to bring over. And yeah, that's really all the things that I've been working on. I'll probably cast on another sock soon for my husband, and maybe once I am done with my sock, I'll cast another sock on for me. And I do have some acquisitions. I am a collective member for Woolberry Fiber Co. So I can't remember when it was, but I got some yarn from one of her updates, and it is called Cool Breeze. And it is just like a really, I'd say that's pretty color accurate. It's a really light blue, like really icy blue. And I have a number of skeins. It's on her Berry Natural DK. And what I really like about Woolberry's natural, like the non-superwash yarn, is that it's so soft, and it's not itchy at all. Like it's so next to skin soft, and I'm honestly obsessed with it. So a lot of, basically the only yarn I get from Woolberry is the natural DK or like the natural fingering. So that is this. I got a number of these. I can't remember what I got it for, but I have a sweater's quantity and I will use it when I get to it. And this weekend I got a yarn organizer, so I will probably organize my stash this weekend. It is kind of everywhere right now, especially with all the yarn I've been getting, and looking forward to kind of getting it situated and just remembering what I have. And then just another little thing that I got was some needle stoppers. They're just these little red hearts. So nothing crazy. If it'll focus, probably not, but yeah, just has like this little floral motif, and they're cute, and I really like using stitch stoppers, so I thought I could just pop them in my cart and get them. And you can never have too many of them. I especially like using them for my sweaters. As I am looking at this one, 2 of the stitches have popped off the needles, so, and that is exactly what they're for. I guess that's really it. That's all the things that I have been working on this week, and I will see you guys next week, hopefully with some more progress, and hopefully not any more yarn, but I'm not sure. I have some plans to buy some yarn for a stuffed animal that I'm going, or 2 stuffed animals that I'm gonna make for my twins, my friend's twins. And yeah, I know I have the Mushin Friends book, and she wants the raccoon and the orangutan, so I just need to get the yarn for that and get working on those. So that is really it. Those are my plans. Those are the things that I'm working on. Those are the things I finished. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.